as she walked down the main street of Ravenswood, the small town where she had grown up. Emily couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. It had been 5 years since she had returned with her young daughter, Sarah, after her husband's sudden death in a tragic accident. The town, with its quaint shops and friendly faces, seemed idyllic on the surface. But Emily knew better. She had always been wary of the people here, with their whispered secrets and suspicious glances. Trust was a luxury she couldn't afford, not when she had a child to protect. It was on this particular evening, as she was hurrying to pick up Sarah from the local daycare, that Emily collided with a stranger. Literally, she had been lost in thought, her eyes fixed on the pavement, when she bumped into a tall, dark-haired man. Apologetic, she looked up to meet his piercing blue eyes, and for a moment, they just stared at each other. The stranger smiled, and Emily felt a flutter in her chest, a sensation she hadn't experienced in years. "Sorry about that," he said, his deep voice sending shivers down her spine. "I'm Max." Emily hesitated for a moment before introducing herself, and they exchanged a brief conversation before parting ways. Over the next few weeks, Emily found herself running into Max more often than she would have liked. He seemed to be everywhere, always with a charming smile and a kind word. Despite her initial reservations, Emily found herself drawn to him, and before long, they were meeting for coffee, and then dinner. For the first time in years, Emily felt like she was living again, like she had finally found someone who understood her. But as their relationship deepened, Emily began to notice strange occurrences around town. People would whisper to each other when she walked by, and some even went so far as to cross the street to avoid her. It was as if they knew something she didn't. One night, as she was walking home from Max's place, Emily stumbled upon a group of townsfolk gathered outside the local diner. They were talking in hushed tones, their faces lit only by the faint glow of the streetlights. Emily's curiosity got the better of her, and she crept closer, trying not to be seen. What she overheard made her blood run cold. They were talking about her, about how she was one of them, about how she was in on it. Emily didn't know what they were referring to, but she knew she had to get out of there fast. The next day, Emily confronted Max about what she had heard. He seemed taken aback, but he reassured her that it was just small-town gossip, that she was being paranoid. Emily wanted to believe him, but the seed of doubt had been planted. As the days went by, Emily found herself torn between her love for Max and her duty to protect Sarah. She didn't know what was going on in this town, but she knew she couldn't trust anyone. In the end, it was her daughter's safety that won out. Emily made the difficult decision to end things with Max, to distance herself from him and the town's secrets. But as she was packing up her belongings, preparing to leave Ravenswood for good, Emily received a visit from an unexpected guest. It was the town's sheriff, a man she had always trusted. He sat her down, his expression grave, and told her the truth. The town was indeed hiding secrets, but they weren't what Emily had thought. It turned out that Max was an undercover agent, sent to Ravenswood to investigate a string of mysterious disappearances. The townsfolk had been trying to protect him, to keep his identity a secret. Emily's eyes widened as the sheriff continued, telling her that she had been wrong all along. Max wasn't the enemy. He was the one person who could have helped her uncover the truth. As the sheriff left, Emily felt a wave of regret wash over her. She had let her fear and paranoia get the better of her. And in doing so, she had pushed away the one person who could have helped her. She thought back to the chance encounter that had started it all, and she realized that sometimes, trust was the only way to truly be safe. Emily knew she had to make things right, to find Max and apologize for her mistakes. But as she looked out the window, she saw that the town was already bathed in darkness, its secrets still lurking in the shadows.